Hey guys, welcome back. This is Phil here with you again. I would say welcome back to Fridays with Phil, but on account of the fact that it is Saturday now, that doesn't really fit. Sorry I missed you guys yesterday because I had some scheduling things that kind of got mixed up and turned around. So I got stuck doing some other things, and then I ended up spending the rest of time last night trying to beat Batman. So forgive me for that. But I'm here. I'm here now. So let's talk about some stuff. So I had. Oh gosh, there's a post on the blog that's kind of about friends and family and stuff, which kind of goes in the next piece of the chronological puzzle here. If we're just backtracking the entire thing. But some of the things that were written in that post were written because at the time I was, looking at moving on and um, changing geographical physical location and whatnot. And at this point, things have changed enough that that's currently not the case. So I will just kind of sum it up for you a little bit here um, as far as that goes. Just in general, I'm not very good at moving away from people and leaving people, and that's kind of something that if you know me, you know that I care very much about the relationships that I have and that I've taken the time to create. So having to leave someone for whatever reason, whether it's for a good reason or a not so good reason, I can be happy for them and whatever, but sometimes I struggle with the whole, separation anxiety and that sort of thing. So there's that. If you want to read that more in depth, feel free. It's on the blog. It's listed under, I think, September of 2014. So if you go back and look at the archive on the right side of the page, when you get there, then you can pull that up. It's just called Framly, which is kind of a play on words between friends and family. I just kind of mixed them both together. And I guess the only other thing I really will bring out here is um, I, as far as friends and family go, I have, friends that are really good friends. I don't, you know, don't have friends normally that are just like, oh, well, I have this friend, this person that I know, but I don't really care that much about them. Like, for me, that doesn't really happen. So when I say friends and family, they're really interchangeable. I guess if I really wanted to, I could just call everyone family, because, the people that are out there that are I guess socially considered my friends or society wise considered my friends, I consider them to be family in the majority of cases. Yeah, basically just family. So the other bit that I kind of want to talk about today is, before I have been asked if I'm a deep thinker. I've had some people ask this at random. It's kind of an interesting question, especially if you ask it of me just completely at random in a situation where we don't really have a lot of time to talk and you just kind of have noticed it over time and you bring it up to me. I've had people do that, and it's kind of hard to answer in the short term. I kind of, I guess, can direct them either, I guess, to the YouTube channel or to the blog to say, hey, if you really want to know the way that I think and whether it's deep or shallow or not or whatever, go take a look at that stuff. And I think at least that based on the things that I've already produced and what I am producing now, at some level I'm a deep thinker, but I'm certainly not, some guy that sits around and just thinks about philosophy all day. I mean, come on, play Batman. Like, so obviously I'm not that deep of a thinker, but sometimes, so if you go back through and read some of the posts, or rather I suggest you read all of them so that you get an idea of, how I guess, thorough that it really is as far as my thought process goes. So yeah, but it's hard to crunch into to a small time frame. If you're like, hey, come on, give me an answer, like I gotta go, it's going to be difficult for me to give you that. But if you got more time, then sure, we could sit there and hash it out. Um, Something else that people just keep bringing up. It was brought up at the time of this post that was made, almost a year ago now, in September of last year. It was brought up at that time. It has been brought up to me within the last week or so, and so I'm definitely going to address this here. Sorry, let me see if I can fix the fact that my glasses keep haloing like crazy. They're just reflecting off of the screen and whatnot. So let me see if maybe that'll help a little bit. Add some extra light from a different angle and see if it gets a little better. Plus you can see my face. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know, there's just this whole thing about people with disabilities inspiring other people, and that's great. If it's for the right reasons, that's fine. I said this on the news when I was on the news. If now I didn't use the whole thing that I said, but if it's for the right reasons, then sure, I'll be an inspiration for people, and that's great, and that's fine. But the other bit of that is, people say, oh, well, a person with a disability, or Phil, you, because you have a disability and you're, fighting these great odds, or struggling through this or that or whatever, but still achieving it, to get through some task or to achieve some goal, and it's like, okay, that's great, but sometimes I can tell that when people say that they're inspired by something, some of them are saying, well, wow, what that person was able to do was really awesome. I wish I could do something like that, but it takes too much work or too much effort. So I'll just stay where I am, and I don't have the time or the energy to give that a shot. But great for that person. That kind of bugs me, because typically, if you're inspired by something, that means that you're inspired to then go do something yourself. So if you're going to tell me, hey, I'm inspired by, the fact that you do this or that, or that you have achieved X, Y, or Z, great, awesome. Okay, now take that and find a way to go and do either the same thing that you haven't achieved. If I've achieved something that you haven't, or maybe it's just the work ethic or whatever, or the perseverance that I have for doing something. Take those aspects and then go apply them to something in your life, so that you can then achieve something that you haven't already, that will then hopefully, and normally most of the time, then inspire someone else to go do something else, because they're then inspired by you. Don't let it stop at just, oh, well, Phil is inspiring to me, but I'm just going to keep saying that, and it feels good to say that and to see him achieve things, but I'm not really pushing, I'm not really trying to do things for myself, to achieve my own goals, and do the things that I need to do and that I want to do. Definitely go out there and do those sorts of things. It, because at least it's so, maybe not everything is possible right away, but at least if you're attempting something, because most of the time when people are telling me that they're inspired by me, it's not because I'm completely successful the first time that I'm doing it, or every time that I'm doing it, but I'm giving it a shot. I'm trying to do it at whatever level I can do whatever the task is. So if you go out there and at least give it a shot and at least try to do something, um, then you become a source of hope and inspiration for other people. But if it's just that this happened a lot when I was on Facebook, and it's part of the reason that I just couldn't stand it anymore. There's a lot of reasons for that, but part of it was just, some of these things were just cool things to share with friends, on social media and say to everybody, oh, hey, everybody should do this. But then, you yourself don't go out and try to do it, or you do the complete opposite. There was a lot of, hey, you should do this, Phil, you should do this, or hey, everybody, you should do this, like, this is a great thing, like, go try to do it, and then you turn around and look at this person that is saying that, and they're doing the complete opposite, or they're sitting there and being lazy and not doing anything. That just bugged me to no end, and people were doing it constantly, but that's a whole nother story. If we say that kind of stuff and then we do nothing, or we do very little, and we don't live up to the full extent of what our effort could be, then we're starving ourselves of that hope, and that potential that could be realized, if we at least gave that task an attempt. And that's something that I think people just miss these days. They don't realize that by saying, hey, I'm going to do this, or hey, somebody else should do this, but then they're not doing it themselves, and they're not pushing and trying to do whatever it is that, they're talking about. If they're not trying to do it to the best of their ability and really trying to push forward with that, then we starve ourselves of that achievement and of that hope, and just that growth, as a person. And there are lots of things that we're capable of. I'm capable of different things than you are, and you're capable of different things than than everybody else. But we all have those things that we know that are talents and abilities that are given just to us. And if we don't use them, then nobody ever sees them. And if nobody ever sees them, then what good is that? I just realized that on camera my beard looks a little bit weird because it's not growing in over here, but it's growing in over here. That's because one side of my face actually grows the hair faster than the other. So anyway, that's why it looks weird on camera. But yeah, if we're not pushing and trying to achieve whatever it is that we know, that we can achieve, and that we should achieve, because they're gifts given to us and talents and abilities. If we don't ever use them, then nobody gets to see them, and then we go through our whole life not using everything that we could have, and we die and we get up there to St. Peter and say, hey, let me in. And he goes, well, did you use everything that was given to you? And you have to stand there and be like, nope, can't say I did. I was lazy. What's he gonna say? She'll be like, all right, well, oops, you messed that one up. So it's not to say that we can do everything perfectly, or just be successful at everything, but there is some sense of effort, and a need for effort, because if we find things that we really should be striving for, and we're pushing for them, and really trying to go for it day in and day out, we're gonna you're gonna feel better. I feel better. It's the weight thing. I lost between this week and last week. I lost 3 pounds, because I've been pushing myself and going to the gym and trying to do the right diet stuff, and just staying on top of it, and really trying to push that. And it's not instant success, but it's one step at a time, and it's that effort every day that matters. But if we don't do that, then what are we left with? You know, we get some questions by the end of our time here that we don't really want to answer, because we know that the answers that we would have to give are not the right kind of answers that we would want to give. So, to just make that effort. If I inspire you, or if someone else inspires you, take what it is that inspires you, figure out what that is, and then find a way to use that yourself to go push yourself forward, because that's what we want. I'm not hanging a sign on my shirt every day that says, "Hey, I'm here to inspire people. Everybody, please come be inspired by Phil." That's not what I'm doing. I'm not, holding up a sign either that says, "I'm here to motivate your ass." Like, that's not. I'm just doing what I can do, and what I need to do, and what I want to do within my own life. And if those things motivate you or inspire you, awesome. Now take those things and go and do something in your own life with those things, so that we can all make this, just better. And that's what I really want, rather than people saying, "Oh, well, you inspire me," and then never doing anything. I don't care if you never say anything to me about it at all, and you just go and do your stuff, and you make things better. Fine, great, that's awesome. That is, I don't necessarily need, people to come up and say that they are inspired by me, or that I motivate them, or that I, necessarily do anything extra for them, uh, internally within themselves, in order for me to keep doing what I'm doing. I do what I do uh, because I know that these are the right things to do, and I get some amount of joy out of it just from doing it, whether you say anything or not. There's some form of internal satisfaction there for me. So, it is not a requirement for someone else to say, "Hey, yeah, that's awesome. Like, that's really great that you're doing that." Now, I don't mind if people do that, but only if they're then going to take that and go do things themselves within their own lives. If you're going to do nothing with it, I would rather you just say nothing, honestly. Um, and that's just the straight up truth with that. Uh, if you're going to be lazy and do nothing with the inspiration that I've given you, then don't even say anything to me, because it's not worth it. Anyways, next week, so over the next 2 weeks, we've got some interesting stuff coming down the line. I guess, this will be, I will try to get back on the Friday schedule. I will try to get back on track for that. I will do my best. No promises, but I will do my best to hit that. And we've got some interesting topics. I'll just give you the titles. So we've got radar dishes and fours over the next 2 weeks. So yeah. Anyways, you'll figure out how those relate to various different things, and yeah, we'll go from there, and we'll see how it goes. Again, if you have comments, questions, rants, raves, whatever, let me know. Leave it down below in the comments, or send me an email, or tweet me, or whatever. All that info is down in the description for you to be able to email me and whatnot. If you have requests, or topic suggestions, or something like that, that you would like to see that maybe isn't covered by the blog, or you'd like a response faster than when I'm going to get to it on the blog, then just go ahead and comment, or send me an email, or send me a message, or something. Get a hold of me, somehow or another, and make your suggestion or your request, and I will process it in a timely manner, and we'll see what we can do about, you know, getting my opinion on that. Anyways, until next week, I hope you guys have a great week, and that you stay cool because it's hot out there. At least where I'm at, it's hot. So stay healthy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.